If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Why make choices in your life based on judgments instead of on your awareness of what would create the life and living you desire? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm.
Welcome, everyone, to the Inspired Choices Radio Show. Tonight we are going to be meditating. I want everyone to close their eyes and think of something very... April Fool's Day! That was the wrong opening, wasn't it? I know, I'm insane, but that's why you all love me, right? So tonight, are you a fool for the wrongness game? Last week, we actually had on Dying Happy, the Gift of Choice with our guest, Wendy Mulder, and that was such an interesting show. That show really opened up different ways of looking at dying and happiness and choice when you're choosing to leave, when someone else is choosing to leave. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed the show, and if you didn't get a chance to hear it live or listen to the replay, I really encourage you to go check that one out. So before we get into tonight's show, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a possibilities coach, and I love working with individuals or organizations to create things that they love, to bring their desires to the forefront of their life with all the possibilities available in the universe. I'm an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, BARS Facilitator, Body Process Facilitator, Energy Healer, radio show host, producer, website builder, and so much more. I love being creative, and I love being different. Are you willing to be different with what you desire and require in this world? The programs that I produce assist you in bringing more possibilities to actualization in your life. Are you ready to create what it is that you've been desiring? Connect with me to learn more. I do charge for my services, but the first 5 minutes are always free. And I can talk pretty fast sometimes. So you'll get a lot out of the first 5 minutes. So tonight, are you a fool for the wrongness game? How many times in your life have you judged yourself as wrong? Do you beat yourself up in your head daily? How about moment by moment? Are you absolutely convinced that you are the biggest winner of the wrongness game? Ask yourself, what if all that is bullshit? Would you be willing to receive new possibilities about what it is, what wrongness is, a choice, an awareness, a lie? I would love to get your questions either in the chat room at A2Zen.fm or call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, in Canada 613-800-8736, or in the UK 033-000-10625, or you can always Skype us at A2Zen.fm. This is an interesting subject because, very funny, there's been some interesting shows today on the radio. So if you're listening right now, my show, or if you're listening in the replay rather, my show is broadcast at the end of the day, and we have live shows all day. And it's been interesting, the different shows and what's been coming up. We had a show about judgment as it comes to being a mother. We had another show where we're picking up other people's judgments or other people's behaviors that are really not ours. We just had a show on about creativity. Our writing coach, Sherry Taylor, was talking about how we sabotage or we're judging ourselves. This is so incessant. It is everywhere. This is a huge, huge subject, and I would love your questions and your comments and your input, because you know what? I'm not alone in this. You know what? I judge myself all the time. It's crazy. And I use tools of Access Consciousness. The founder of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas, and the co-founder, Dane here, They teach us and facilitate us on so many different things, and it feels like, or it often is the core or the root of much of what they facilitate us on is the judgment. And man, it's kind of like playing Jenga. If you can get to that fucking judgment, if you can really get in there and you can pull that damn thing out, all of the crap starts to tumble away. So everywhere that you've bought the lie that you are judgeable and that there is a fucking game that you are winning, can we please, for the love of Peter, Mary, and Joseph, destroy and uncreate all that shit times a godzillion? Oh, okay, cool. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So I'll tell you something. 30 seconds before this show was going to go live, I've been judging myself all day. It's been really cute, not brilliant. I had no idea what I was going to say, but I knew that, I was likely going to do the show. I could have popped a replay in and said, sorry, April Fools, I didn't really know that I was going to do a show. But it was actually Faith, who is in the chat room right now. She commented on my Facebook page, and with the intention that she was going to be here and wanted some awareness about this. So it was like, oh shit, somebody's actually going to join it live, so I better do it. So thanks, Faith. Maybe I'll tell you by the end of it. Anyways, so Carol says, I'm convinced I can't even win the wrongness game. Well, that is hilarious, Carol. So you're convinced you're so wrong you can't even win the wrongness game. Okay. Well, everywhere anybody's buying into that crap, can we please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Sue says, wrong moment by moment is me. And I notice I ask, what is wrong about this instead of, I don't know what that word is. What's
right about this I'm not getting?
Thank you. Okay, look I obviously need some assistance. Thanks, Carol. That was Carol. What's wrong about me that I'm not getting? What's wrong about this that I'm not getting? So, you know what? We have been programmed from day one in this reality to be always measuring things. What's right? What's wrong? What's good? What's bad? Acceptable, not acceptable, judgeable, not judgeable, from everything, every single thing. I mean, we look the minute we're born. We look at the body of the baby, and we're immediately judging. Do they have 10 toes and 10 fingers? We're judging that if they don't, there's something wrong. Well, is that true? Now, it's certainly easier for the way that our bodies are created when we do have the 10 toes and the 10 fingers. It is easier for the structure of our body. But is it really wrong if they're not there? If it creates pain and anguish in the child, okay, then that's maybe not great, but is it really wrong? And that's not to say that it can be terribly hard for a baby and the family to learn how to manage in this reality. But we begin at that moment, and that very moment that child is born, we begin to judge. And some people don't, not everybody, but it is so thick. It's like this huge heavy fog that's everywhere. So if you are above the age of 20, you have had, okay, somebody do the math really quick. Where's Melissa? She can do math really fast. 365. So you've had probably over 7,000 days in your life that you have been judging. So the mind is a record album. It just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. We have 60,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of those thoughts are the exact same thoughts we had yesterday. It is this continuous, incestuous, 7,300 days. Thank you, Faith. So 7,300 times 60,000, Faith, please. So if you have a thought that you're not good enough about anything, Let's say somebody said to you once when you were a child, you don't know how to do the dishes. It's a very simple little thing, and yet that repeats in your head all of the time. You don't know how to do the dishes, you don't know how to do the dishes. Now, for some of you, you might say, great, then I never have to do them. Gives me an excuse to get out of them. Or super, I'll always make sure that I have a dishwasher because I do suck at doing dishes. Maybe that would work for you. You manipulate yourself and other people into giving you what you want. Super. But if that's something that is wearing at you, okay, I can't read that number, Faith. You got to come online and read it for me. Yes, I'm manipulating Faith to come online. If you are someone that has this in your head and you're judging yourself over and over again, I can't do the dishes, I can't do the dishes, and you're criticizing yourself. Now, that may seem foolish to some people, but, you know, if you go back to your family of origin, the minute we walk back in, we are often back to that young age, and what we remember, what we recall oftentimes is how we feel in situations that were uncomfortable, that made us sad or frustrated or angry. And so those things can stay with us for a very, very, very long time, and they can continually repeat. To get out of all of this self-judgment it can take a great deal of work. But in the interim, between judging yourself and knowing that something else is possible, it can take a big toll on who we are and what we've chosen in our lives. I'd just like to invite people that are listening to this call right now to listen to this one thing. If you get nothing out of this call tonight, please know that there is absolutely, positively not one fucking thing wrong with you. There never has been. There never will be. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. And I know that if you are carrying around a really heavy heart, or there is something that you feel, quote unquote, shame about, which is a lie. Shame is a distractor implant that we talk about in Access Consciousness. It's an implant that's been implanted in us. If you're walking around with shame, if you're walking around with guilt, you're walking around with any heaviness, please know all of that is an absolute lie. It's not real, and it's not who you truly be. If you can get to that point and know, just know, okay, anything that's heavy is a lie, anything that's heavy is a lie, anything that's heavy is a lie, and repeat that. Just keep repeating it. That is that first step, that step of acknowledgement. That is the key that begins to unlock the door to a new possibility in your life. So if you are listening right now and this is ringing true for you, I just want you to know that, number one, you are not alone. There are millions of us all around the world that are judging the heck out of ourselves all the time. And number two, there are many, many, many of thousands and thousands and thousands of people that know that something else is possible. There is another choice. You can change this. And all it requires is saying, yes, I'm going to choose to change this. You may not know how to change it. You may not have a clue on where to go. If you're listening to this call, just keep listening to this. Just listen to this over and over again. Please know that there are people through Access Consciousness that are waiting and desiring to be a contribution to changing these lies in the world. All you need to do is go to accessconsciousness.com, search your country, your city, find somebody, reach out. There's nothing wrong with reaching out. We can change this reality, and we can start breaking the rulers. We can start beginning to see the truth and let's flush all the lies down the toilet. There is no wrongness game, and let me tell you, you're not a fool. The only fool is the fool who believes that they are wrong. So you are listening to Inspired Choices on A to Zen.fm. I'm your host, Christine McIver. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to look at some more of the questions in the chat room and take your calls, because I know some of you in the chat room want to call in, right? Repeat to me, yes, I want to call in, yes, I want to call in. Okay, stay tuned. We will be back in just a moment.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that, when run, assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
Being visible, being social, being heard. What desires are you ready to create? Would you like to take the next step to creating a potent presence on the web? Would it create more possibilities and expansion in your life? BeingVisible.ca offers website, social media, radio show creation, and more. Creating with consciousness, bringing the energy of you to your audience. Are you ready to connect with your audience clearly, regularly, and with ease? Christine McIver and Carol Glover work with individuals and organizations to create a powerful presence on the web. Personal attention and one-on-one training creates the ease with expanding you. Are you ready? Connect today at beingvisible.ca.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada, 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Christine, and tonight we're talking about, are you a fool for the wrongness game? What is the wrongness game? What is all of that? Well, it's mainly the stuff that's between our ears, right? It's what's going on in our head where we're judging ourselves. We're claiming that we are wrong. Really? Are we really wrong? Or are we going by somebody else's point of view? It is crazy how much we are comparing ourselves to other people, and we're judging ourselves based on somebody else's choices. So it's their choice. So what they choose? Who has decided that we are supposed to be a certain way and be acceptable? Who was the first person that made that decision? You know, if you are a faith-based person, and for me, when I was growing up, I was raised Roman Catholic, and you know, I often heard, I was very fortunate to be around some amazing people that, you know, priests and nuns in the church that were wonderful. And I also got introduced to some people that worked in the churches that were not so wonderful, and they very much, you know, judged the hell out of you. And I would look at both groups of individuals as I was growing up, and I would often wonder to myself, if God was our Father, that's how I was raised, that was the religion I was raised under. If God was our Father, would he ever judge us wrongfully? If he created us all equally, as the Bible says, would he really have created us wrong? No. I mean, I always knew this as a very young girl, and I could not understand. It would really mess with my mind when they would come around and then they would say, well, this is wrong, or that is wrong, or this is bad, and this is good. And I'm like, I just always had this knowing. So whether or not you have been raised in a faith or not, whether you have a belief system or not, please follow your knowing. A belief system is something we buy. A knowing just is. Please follow your knowing. Does that feel true for you? Whatever is true will be light, and whatever is heavy is a lie. Just ask yourself that. That is one of the best tools in Access Consciousness. It's a simple tool. I didn't trust myself for a long time with my awarenesses. I've learned how to seriously use that tool so simply, and really kept testing and working that muscle so that I could follow my knowing with ease, and it goes so quickly now, which I love. Carol said something in the chat room. There's so much going on in here, I have to back up the chat room here. She said, we're taught to judge ourselves, so we'll buy all kinds of stuff to make us better. Losers keep the economy going. Well, there's a lot of what I believe is true in that statement, because everybody's looking for what is broken. So they often say, find something that's broken, find somewhere where something needs to be fixed, or there needs to be a solution. You create something, boom, you've got a product or a service that you can sell. So that's absolutely true. If you can find somewhere that somebody needs help around something, and if you are seriously in judgment of yourself, somebody's going to try to sell you something to get you out of judgment. I want to invite you into your knowing. I don't want to sell you anything. I want to invite you into a different possibility. Yes, like Sue said, problem solving all the time. And Sue also said, and it's so cute, Sue said, when I said that I was judging myself, she said it was refreshing. She thought all Access Consciousness facilitators were beyond asking what is wrong. No, we're not. I thought the same thing when I first started in Access Consciousness. Just because I've taken more courses doesn't mean I'm over my shit. Please, if you think that because somebody, they're a certain height, they have a certain amount of money in their bank account, they walk a certain way, they have a certain relationship, they have a certain title behind their name, if you think that they are any more aware than you are, you're maybe fooling yourself. You maybe want to ask yourself what else is possible. There are a lot of people that still, they can make strides in certain areas of their life, but this wrongness game has got a very strong hold on all of us. And this has been going on for lifetimes, that we have been working through so much of this stuff. So I really want you to look at this wrongness. Is it true? Am I really wrong? Or am I buying a lie? So Sue said, I made a horrible investment decision a year ago, and I've spent the whole year since asking what else could go wrong. And believe me, I have found many, many ways beyond my comprehension of how it could go wrong. Isn't that funny? It's like if you want to create something, you will. If you want to find something, if you ask a question, what else could go wrong, the universe will show you. It will start to show up. We create our lives. We create every single solitary thing in our life. And I know the first time I heard this, I wanted to slap the person. Actually, I wanted to beat them, because I was like, if you think that my crappy life that I have had, and all of the insanities and all of the insane people and all of the insane situations that I have been in, that I'm responsible for them, I wanted to smack them. And then, something that irritates you, something that really triggers you, oftentimes there's some truth in there. And when I was ready, I started to look at it. And what I began to acknowledge is that I was the common denominator in my life. I was the common denominator in all of the creations. And when I was ready to claim, own, and acknowledge that I had created everything in my life, not always by myself, but I had created it all, suddenly the chains of anger and disappointment and sadness and depression and frustration started to unlock. Because what started to be created out of that was new possibilities. Because I knew that if I created all of that, and how much energy that took, that I could create something different. It was probably one of the hardest things for me to acknowledge, because I didn't want to think that I would mess up my own life. I would buy into all of that. That was a big one. And if that's a big one for you, I get it. I get it. I think it probably took me 3 months to finally say, all right, already. And when I did, I started to take off the rose-colored glasses. I started to take off the anger towards other people. And the really awesome thing was I didn't get angry at myself, because all I had my eyes on was the new possibilities I wanted to create in my life. There is nothing wrong with you. There never has been anything wrong with you. You are an infinite being. You came here at this time, in this space, to create something new. And if you are listening to me, you know that there are people out there, just like you and I, who are desiring more possibilities. Do you know that you could be making a contribution not only in your life, but in someone else's life? This wrongness that we've bought is pretty incestuous. It gets into every bit, all of the corners, all of the relationships, our bank account, our love for our children. Everything that we do, everything that we touch can be layered in it. Or it can be really subtle. And you think everything is just fine, and all of a sudden it pops up its little damn head. Son of a goodness. Okay. I'm trying to keep up with all of the comments in the chat room. It's interesting. So, let's see here. Lies. Okay. Keisha says, so what contributions are wrongness that we can now acknowledge as a rightness and change our realities? Cool. If we can claim, own, and acknowledge that contribution has now created a new choice, fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. There's no wrongness in any choice. And we can use it as a stepping stool to step up on and reach for a new possibility. But please know, you do not have to create wrongness in order to create happiness and joy, money, yummy relationships, pleasure, every area of your life. You do not have to create wrongness. That's not a requirement. It can come out of it, but it's not a requirement. Okay? So we are going to go for a break shortly. We've got some more comments and questions in the chat room. I do this radio show all the time, all day long, and I think I'm one of the hosts that has the most challenge following it. My eyes just get all flippy when I'm doing my show, so how's it getting better than that? So you are listening to Inspired Choices on A2Zen.fm, and we are talking about the Wrongness Game, and it's for fools, and you're no fool. So stay tuned. We will be back right after our commercial break.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that when run assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bar session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
Being visible, being social, being heard. What desires are you ready to create? Would you like to take the next step to creating a potent presence on the web? Would it create more possibilities and expansion in your life? BeingVisible.ca offers website, social media, radio show creation, and more. Creating with consciousness, bringing the energy of you to your audience. Are you ready to connect with your audience clearly, regularly, and with ease? Christine McIver and Carol Glover work with individuals and organizations to create a powerful presence on the web. Personal attention and one-on-one training creates the ease with expanding you. Are you ready? Connect today at beingvisible.ca.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I am your host, Christine, and tonight we're talking about the wrongness game, and are you a fool for the wrongness game? What is wrongness? Well, I'm just reading some of the comments in the chat room, and how do we get to wrongness? And I think it was Keisha, you had something, and Sue also said something about that. Keisha says, so what no, Keisha said, do we make ourselves wrong because we are not willing to be wrong? Faith also said, we are using other people's realities to make us wrong instead of living in our reality and being right. And then there was one other thing that I want to refer to before what is the difference? Sue says, what is the difference between nothing wrong with me versus nothing wrong with my decision? What if I still believe my decisions were wrong? Okay, so first of all, in order for us to get to the point of calling something wrong, what we are doing is we are in judgment, right? Everybody agree with that? We're judging it. And in order to judge something, what it requires is for you to be comparing. So you've got some reference point that you are looking at. Oftentimes in this reality, that reference point is someone else's reality. We've learned this since we were children. If you're in grade school, the teacher shows you how to draw something, and then the children all go about drawing something, and some of the children draw it exactly, and then the creatives, the future Michelangelos, they create things, and it looks nothing like, it looks absolutely nothing like it at all, and they are judged as it is wrong. So in order for us to first get to a wrongness, there has to be a comparison. There has to be a judgment. So we're looking at something in this reality, and we're saying, oh, that's right, oh, that's wrong. And then when we are making a choice, we are referring to something outside of ourselves, someone else's reality, or our past. And it could be 5 minutes ago, or it could be lifetimes ago, where we are always referencing something back. That's where the wrongness comes from, is the referencing. Now, what would it be like? Sue had said, what if I still believe my decisions were wrong? So, Sue, I'm going to ask you, were your decisions wrong, or do you now have an awareness around what you would like to choose next? What if every choice we made, we looked at it and we went, oh, okay, cool. That's what that choice created. That's not so much fun for me. I'm going to create something else. So you could look at it as like, okay, you have your couch in one place and your chair, your living room chair in another place in your home, and you move it around, and then in the middle of the night you get up and you fall over the chair, you break your leg, and you go, oh, okay. So that choice created awareness that I'm not great at night with furniture moved in my home. So either I have to leave a light on or put furniture back the way it was. We don't have to judge it as a stupid, wrong mistake, but what are we programmed to do? Immediately out of our mouths, what pops? Oh, that was stupid, what I did to myself. Wait a minute. Okay, it's not fun that you have a broken leg, but is it necessary for you to also beat the shit out of yourself now on an emotional basis? Because every time you're putting that programming into your brain, remember what I said earlier, 60,000 thoughts a day, 80% of those thoughts the same thoughts as yesterday, you're going to repeat that. And how many people, when you tell that story about how you broke your leg, are you going to repeat that story too? How many of us do that? Day and night. We repeat. We keep buying these lies, and we keep recreating these lies and judgments, and we wonder why our experiences are very much the same or very, very similar. So everywhere that we have judged ourselves for making the wrong choices, can we please destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Everywhere that we are creating something in our lives and we're judging ourselves as a wrong thing instead of just a choice that created an awareness, we please destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion. Are you saying that a judgment is always a lie? Yes, Sue. Judgment is always a lie. Every judgment is heavy. An awareness, okay, if you have food in front of you and you're looking at something and you ate some spicy tacos one time and you really enjoyed them, and you choose to eat the spicy tacos again, and suddenly, your body isn't enjoying it, your mouth isn't enjoying it, you're feeling nauseous. Is that a judgment, or is it an awareness that your body doesn't like that food? Does it have to be a judgment? Like, that was a stupid decision to make that choice. It doesn't. A choice creates an awareness. Choice creates an awareness. Judgment creates bondage. Judgment creates limitation. Judgment does not allow you to move forward in your life with ease. Every time you're criticizing yourself, you are lying to yourself. That's right. That's absolutely right. You know what? One of the tools that I've used for years and years and years with my clients, and if you're judging the hell out of yourself, this is a great tool to use. I actually have a picture of myself. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm a little girl. I'm about 2.5, 3 years old in this picture. I put this picture in a frame, and I had it on my desk for many, many years. It's just off to the side now, but I can still see it. And every time I would go to judge myself, I would look at the picture of that little girl, and I'd say, I would never judge her. I would never say this to her. Never. Never in a million years would I say that to her. precious. She's important. She's a gift. Why would I say it today? We are so quick to beat ourselves up emotionally and verbally. We are so quick to hurt ourselves, where we would never do this to an animal, we would never do this to a friend, but we won't think twice about beating the shit out of ourselves. What is that creating in your life? What has that ever created in anyone's life? Please, everywhere that you are judging yourself right now, will you please allow it to leave? Would you just ask, what else is possible here? What do I know that I haven't been willing to know, that if I would know it, would allow this judgment to leave with total ease? And everything that doesn't allow that, can we destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. There is only yummy you. There is not bad you. There is not judgeable you. We make choices, even if you're someone that has killed someone. Okay? I don't believe that anybody creates anything singularly. And you do not have to agree with me. This is what I believe. If you're someone that has killed someone, that's a choice. And out of that choice will come awarenesses. Oh, when I kill someone in this reality, I will be put in jail or I will be put to death. Choice creates awareness. Well, we don't need to go to that extreme to have that happen. But that is truthfully what any choice that you make, that can actually happen. Faith says, what if our wrongness is in alignment with someone else's reality instead of living our own reality? That's exactly it. We are oftentimes, if we're someone that judges ourselves a lot, we're looking, we've bought the lie that we don't have the knowledge, the awareness, the capacity, the capability to make the right choices. I used to say all the time, I wish someone would just make this choice for me. Oh my God, I gave up my power over and over and over again. So when we are looking outside of ourselves to make the right choice or have somebody make the right choice, we're actually not following what works for us. We're not tapping into our knowing. These are things that you can learn if you don't feel that you have the confidence today. The tools of Access Consciousness have been such a huge contribution to my life, and they have changed the way that I talk to myself. They've changed the way that I be with myself. I still can have shitty days. And how much am I picking up everybody else's judgments of them? Maybe buckets and buckets full. So everywhere that you've not been willing to actually ask the question, who does that belong to? Can we please destroy it and create all the limitations around actually using the tools? Yes? Excellent. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Faith, okay, where are we? Keisha says, how often do we turn our awareness into a judgment and beat ourselves up with it? Exactly. We are actually, we're always picking up all of this, but we're not actually claiming it as awareness. We're actually, because we get it, quote unquote get it, we're picking it up, we believe that it's ours and we're judging it. 99% of all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions you have is not yours. It's not yours. You are this super huge antenna picking up everybody else's satellite shit. When you will really begin to use that tool and become that tool and know anything that's heavy is a lie, anything that's heavy is a lie, anything that's heavy is a lie, you can start to become unlocked from this. So we are going to take our last break of tonight's show, the show that I didn't think was going to take place, that actually took place, and I'm enjoying it immensely. And all you amazing people in the chat room, thank you for helping to co-create this. I really adore all of you. Don't be a tool, use a tool. That's a good one, Carol. We could put that on a T-shirt. Okay, so we are listening to Inspired Choices on A2Zen.fm. I am your lead talker for tonight, Christine McIver, and we will be right back right after this commercial break.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that when run assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bar session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
Being visible, being social, being heard. What desires are you ready to create? Would you like to take the next step to creating a potent presence on the web? Would it create more possibilities and expansion in your life? BeingVisible.ca offers website, social media, radio show creation, and more. Creating with consciousness, bringing the energy of you to your audience. Are you ready to connect with your audience clearly, regularly, and with ease? Christine McIver and Carol Glover work with individuals and organizations to create a powerful presence on the web. Personal attention and one-on-one training creates the ease with expanding you. Are you ready? Connect today at beingvisible.ca.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada, 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is A2Zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Wow, what a night. What a creation. You know what? We're not alone. I don't know about everybody in the chat room right now, but you guys don't get how much of a contribution you are to me and to the world, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all of you. You kick my butt, I kick yours. It's a freaking community of ass-kicking that is changing the world, and I'm so glad to be part of it, and I'm so glad all of you are as well. Wow. Patrina said something in the chat room, and I'm trying to get the chat room window to stop moving so I can read it. She said, I've become aware of where I was using self-judgment as motivation to improve myself. Like, oh my God, look how awful I am. Oh, I better change that. Silly, not choosing that anymore. Do you know what, Patrina? That is honestly something that I used for so many years, and it is exhausting. And it is something that a lot of people are still using, and I'll bet you will still continue to use for years and years to come. We judge ourselves to get us to do something. Instead of choosing what would be fun and what would be light. You know, it's if you've been with Access Consciousness, if you've heard anything about it, we talk a lot about a human and a humanoid, just different beings on the planet. Humanoids often will put things off to the very last minute, and and because we want to prove that we're potent. But how much in doing that are we actually spending hours and days judging the shit out of ourselves, which is also, like Patrina says, totally exhausting. It absolutely drains the shit out of me. I know that it probably does the same to everybody else. It's not a wrongness. It's not a wrongness. What would be a greater contribution to you? What would be a greater contribution to your body? What would be a greater contribution to the earth if you were laughing and making choices from happiness, making choices from joy, making choices from a place that created so much more yumminess in your life that you couldn't help but change the world by that? And Patrina says, what if nothing you've ever done has been wrong? It was one of the greatest and most freeing things I've ever heard from Access. Absolutely, positively, totally. There is nothing that you have ever done, there's no choice you ever made that is wrong. If we can begin to use all of our choices as, oh, that was an interesting choice. I think I'd like to choose something different. If you can use it from that perspective, if you can become aware of what works for you and what doesn't, what would be fun each and every day, would you be making a different choice? And if you're listening to this call and you have no freaking idea what I've been talking about, please reach out. Please email me, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. And even if you do know what I'm talking about and you still would love a contribution, I do sessions over the phone, over Skype, in person, coaching for you personally, for teenagers, family members, couples. I work with people with their businesses. I love to help. I love to be a contribution to create a different possibility. And if you're someone that has this capacity as well, what could you claim, own, and acknowledge today that could be a contribution for more and more going forward? Awareness, not judgment, nor wrongness. It's awesome. Sue says, Patrina, I heard that, but could not believe it. I made a crappy investment decision and so could not get what was right about it. It was just a choice, right, Sue? It was just a choice. And you can choose something again, but as long as you keep staying attached to that choice, you're not going to be able to outcreate yourself. So if you would like to contact me, it's Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. You can go to my website, inspiredchoices.ca, to learn more about me. I've got lots of shows in the archives. Some of them may be a contribution. I'm also putting on an event this Saturday night called Your Keys to Conscious Touch with Dr. Dane here, if you'd like to join me in my home here in Toronto. I'm also going to be doing a bar share April the 19th, and I'm going to be hosting the wonderful Cass Thomas here in Toronto May the 21st to the 24th for a Dances with Riches and a 3-day body class. How does it get any better than that? I'm also going to be looking at putting on Foundation and Level 1 classes where we're going to debunk all of this crap that we have bought into that is just blocking the heck out of our lives. I am so glad that you joined me tonight, and I really hope that you will look at the different possibilities that you could have in your life if you would start to look at what choices you made were not a contribution and what choices you could be making that could make another contribution in your life. Next week, our show will be Will You Get Down Off the Cross for Consciousness with my friend and co-host, or guest, Kathleen Connor. We're going to have a great time. Thank you, everyone, so much in the chat room. I adore all of you. And remember, you can always make another choice. Have a brilliant week. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.